Hello, welcome back. The next team presenter will be Sharif.
Hello. Hello, my name is Sharif, and today we're going to be introducing our Kuman Smart Robot Car. And these are my group members, Alexis, Sonia, and Karen.
Wait, get the nostrils.
So today we're going to talk about how our robot moves and what programs we use. The program we used to upload our codes was Arduino. And we had some difficulties with uploading all the codes into one single code. So let me start off with Sonia.
So my movement was moving forward and back. So this was our code right here. We actually got our code from a CD that came with the robot and or the car, and then my movement was actually kind of like going forward, backward, and it was like spinning and like going crazy. So what we did was some of these motors, we just changed most of them to like high and low, whatever we wanted to go. If it wanted to go brake, then we'll make it low, and then it's spinning right. So I didn't. For me moving forward and back, I didn't want it to spin at all. So we had to change it to low, and then the same thing as going back. And then pros and cons. Pros, we just got our code from a CD that came from the box, and then the cons was basically recoding it and all that stuff. So trying to see which is going to go forward and back instead of doing all different types of movements. So
Here's our robot.
It's our robot, and this is the first movement.
Let's start with 360 turn. Forward. Backward. Forward. Start repeating in a loop.
And that is our first movement. All right, and then the second movement is gonna be Karen's.
So I also got my code off the CD from the robot, but we had some difficulties because the sensor was a little higher than what the code was written for. So we had to rewrite it for our robot. The pro, I think, for us was finally getting it coded because it took us a while to figure out what was wrong with it. Because we tried different codes besides the one on the CD, and then we went back to the one on the CD and actually fixed it a bit. Says we found our code online, that's a lie. Anyways, it took us so long. It was actually really frustrating because all of us were trying to find it. Next slide, I think, is my coding. So yeah, it's really hard to see, but we had to change the sensor because it's a little up off the ground to 10 centimeters. And yeah, this is it in action. It's pretty fun to play with. Turns around, anything in front of it, and yeah. We had a great time when we finally just started it over these times. See, we have to be right in front of it for it to actually work. Exactly. And that is it, avoiding obstacles. Next up, attempting on figure 8.
Okay, so for my code, I chose to do a figure 8 because all the other movements were taken. So when I say attempt, I didn't make it go into a complete figure 8 because one of the cons was we didn't have an axle like how regular cars have it, so our wheels didn't rotate like an actual car. And also another con was we didn't have enough time to code it, so I had just made the first movement and I couldn't have enough time to come back around. And it was really easy to find. I went online on the Arduino software and I downloaded a movement that was similar to figure 8s, and then I added a spin arc and like for the right motors and the left motors. And my code was really long. I added arc left and arc right, so then the wheels and the motors can turn and do like a swerving motion. And as you can see, I only made it up until just that, but if I had more time, I probably could have gone to a full loop for a figure eight.
And for my part would be line tracking. So some of the pros that we had were being able to have the sensors to work, the IR sensors, the infrared sensors, being able to match the pins for the sensor. Because when I found my part for the code, the sensors were with the right pins, so I had to adjust them and match the pins for our robot. And we were able to use this electric tape for the robot to follow the track. And some of the cons we had was sensors weren't working at the time because of due to the pins weren't matching our robot. And here's all right. We'll start from here. All right, as you can see, it's moving. It's following the electric tape, doing a little turns. We don't have like actual wheels that curve. And some of the cons that we had was if it stops following the line, it will just go into circles. And yeah, so I changed the code for the sensors. We had them on low, so I had to put them on high. Oh, they keep on going.
Smooth out the paper.
So yeah, whenever it gets off the tape, it'll just go out. And using the paper, because we have little bumps right here, it'll stop reading the electric tape. And yeah, this was the outlay of our robot. So we used the sensor, attached it to this port right here. We try to, for her part with the sensor, when she had difficulties for the obstacle avoidance, we had to match the trig to A1, and it was just when we had it uploaded to the Arduino, it said 11 for trig and then 10 for echo, and we had to switch it to A0 and A1. And for for also her part, for it to being able to move, we had to include the servos for the motors so it could start driving. And my part was trying to find the pins for our sensor, the infrared sensors, and being able to have like an input of one. So for input of one would use white paper for it to read the electric tape and be able to move. And yeah, that is our part.
So here's a video of us.
Of our progress.
We have here Sonia coding her code, readjusting it. We also have Alexis here, changing her codes. That's our presentation. questions?
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say, I think you guys had very good team synergization. I feel like you guys, I don't know if that's a word, but I think you guys worked really well as a team, and I can definitely see that in your presentation skills as well as everything you talked about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?